Welcome to TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans, by wrestling fans, on the web today. I'm John, that's my cohort and commentary Ashton, and this is our NXT review. Now, tonight, I gotta be honest, I spent a lot of time in the live wrestling discussion channel of the TWitWoW Discord. You guys can get it on the Discord if you're not already members. It's $3 a month. Check out the TWitWoW Patreon for everything that we offer. So, because I was with the boys, my corner commentator here, Alex Foster, Kirby Freeman, Javaris, among others, I had a really great time with everybody. And that might be coloring my perspective on this NXT, because I will say on the whole that I enjoyed it. But looking at it for itself, let's say I wasn't participatory in the Discord, which shouldn't be that hard because I've only recently become a lot more active. It was okay. I'm really loving Diamond Mine. I even said in the Discord that I actually really like watching strong work. I guess even more aggressively, more technically as part of Diamond Mine. Knight and Grimes is still kind of a guilty pleasure for me, and that's solely because of Grimes. Yes. I actually do think he's getting some pathos, if you will, out of being the reluctant butler of the babyface. You know, we've seen something similar like this before. Shawn Michaels and JBL immediately springs to my mind. Breakout tournament continues to impress. Odyssey Jones is a tour de force. So there was a lot of good on this show. Other stuff, it's going to be interesting to see how NXT navigates. I know we were having a spirited discussion about LDF and Hit Row. And the Cross Joe stuff, I mean, God bless Samoa Joe's mic work. I still think he's one of the best promos in the game. And I know Cross has been the subject of much discussion, given his loss on Monday Night Raw last night to Jeff Hardy on his birthday and his main roster debut. So on the whole, I would give this episode a thumbs middle. So, some things I definitely liked. Other things I probably could have done without. Ashton, what do you think about it?
I can sign on to the thumbs middle thing. I think if I had to grade this show on a scale of 1 to 10, give it like a 6. Ooh, what the hell? I thought I had that muted. I'm sorry. Anyway, I think I would give it like a 6.5-ish out of 10. Maybe a 7 if I really took the experience with the Discord into account and stuff. That made it a lot more fun for sure. I agree with you. The Breakout Tournament is definitely one of the most interesting things going on in NXT right now, as well as the Hit Row LDF feud. But there was some weird shit tonight. And kind of like you said about the Joe Cross stuff, like, as wonderful as Joe is, Cross still feels untouchable in NXT, and it's gross. So I can't really get as invested in that as I probably should be able to, or as I would like to be able to. But
right.
At the end of the day, NXT tonight was more good than bad, but it was a definite mixed show.
All right, let's get into our first segment, Heat of the Night. And surveying the field, I really don't have any heats of the night. I don't even really know if I have any nitpicks. I mean, obviously, we always talk about Cross and LA Knight, but we made a promise to ourselves that we wouldn't get repetitive. We'd only bring that up if we felt like we had anything novel to say. I do not, so I'm going to pass the buck to you. Do you have anything you want to...
I don't have anything novel to say about either one of those guys either.
Okay, do you have any separate complaints outside of those acts?
Well, I have a minor nitpick that could become a full-blown raging heat of the night, depending on what kind of news comes out of this show.
Okay.
The main event and the finish of the main event.
Yeah.
Raquel does this weird, like, rotating Vader bomb where she lands back first on Raquel, or on Zaya. Zaya had her right hand on top of her stomach and, like, her ribs. And Raquel goes for the pin, and Zaya barely kicks out, just gets a shoulder up out of instinct to keep the match going. And then Aja comes in and checks on Zaya and won't let Raquel get near her, and she's pushing her away. Next thing you know, we see some medical staff at ringside talking to Zaya as well. Now, obviously, they arrived at the conclusion that it was okay for Zaya to take that last powerbomb bump, but if she had a broken rib and took that bump, it could have literally punctured a fucking organ. Like,
yeah.
That's not if it was a rib problem, and it seemed like it was. To me, it's either got to be a rib problem or more, or if not that, then at the very least a wrist slash hand slash forearm problem. If it was a rib problem, though, even like you don't you don't fuck with those. To keep it as simple as possible, you don't fuck around with rib pain. You get it looked at, you get it x-rayed, you make sure that it's not broken or puncturing any organs, and you sure as shit don't let somebody slam this woman down on her back, further intensifying what would be already intense pain and further implicating and putting her in the face of danger as far as whatever's going on in her rib cage. Like I said, it's a nitpick. If it was a hand wrist problem and Zaya said, yeah, I can take this last bump and call it then, it's a full-blown fuck you heat of the night if it was a rib problem. If it comes out that it's a rib problem, and obviously when she's communicating with refs, with the ref and with these medical staff, she's telling them what hurts. And if she said my ribs, at that point you call off the match, Raquel retains. I don't give a fuck what your finish is.
Yeah. I mean, 100% co-sign, not really much to add. I would just like to reiterate, only because you seem to agree with it in the Discord. I think I said it best, and I said it succinctly. I said 2 green people trying to measure up to a main event, and that's what happens. Very discomforting to watch.
It's just weird to think of them both as green when Raquel, like I said in the Discord, has been wrestling for longer than Tam Nakano, Jungle Kiona, Momo Watanabe. I could go, I mean, hell, even Utami. She's got like more than double the experience of Utami.
Yeah, and the thing is, dude, like, I think just to add on to your point, if I may, it's quite fitting with these two specifically, because Zaya has been given a gimmick with, like, definite protection value. Like, you know, they're definitely, there's production value to it. They're presenting her in a very strong way. And Zaya, and we talked only a few weeks ago about how she, like, knocked out Mercedes Martinez.
Yeah.
And then Raquel, I think, is even worse, and I'm really not trying to find
I mean, it's funny that we're getting this relationship now, because I think a lot of people, including us, have speculated that Mei Ying is Karen Q, and it turns out, you know, just turn back the hands of time a little bit, Karen Q's leg got broken because of Raquel Gonzalez.
Yeah, and the thing is with Raquel, and again, I know it may seem like I'm sorry, because we know I just do not like Raquel. I know neither one of us does. I'm a bit harder on her, only because, like, she's the champion. And when we think about NXT's history, and when we think about the NXT of, like, the golden period and, like, what we loved, that women's championship, there was a point where I would have probably made the good faith argument, like, totally unironically, that the NXT Women's Championship was one of the most prestigious titles in just all of women's wrestling, with how they treated in the women that held it. Yeah. So Raquel, to me, whether I'm being a mark or not, has an immense responsibility being the champion of an entire division. Even if you want to go like the Jericho route and it's like, oh, well, it's like acting. So when you win a championship, it's like an Academy Award, an Oscar, or whatever. Even more so, because the people in the offices and stuff are like, okay, we have a direction for this division. We trust you with this division. And if this is on her, and I don't know, sometimes freak things happen. I don't want to go and be like, oh, Raquel should never work, and Zaya should, you know, I don't want to be that guy. Sometimes things happen, but we have talked about how green Raquel is. You talked about how she broke Karen Q's leg. Now, she is a bit distance from that, you know, from that to winning the title.
Well, dude, if you think about it, though, the more distance she has from having done that, the more irritating it is, because that's literally the last time Karen Q's wrestled. She hasn't been in the ring since then.
Yeah. Yeah, like, that's fucking wild, because that just feels like that was so long ago. The more time that goes by, the natural instinct might be, oh, it's so long ago, I'm sure Raquel's gotten better since then, but at the same time, it happened so long ago, and Karen still hasn't been able to return to ring because of it. Like, that fucked her up. I'm pretty sure she broke her fucking femur, dude. Yeah, dude, that's the thing. I got really critical of Zaya for the knockout, because my one thing is, and that's why, again, I reiterate for NXT when it came to the men, I didn't like how much they glorified O'Reilly Bauer, because you're supposed to protect the other person in the ring. Wrestling is the art of making it look like it hurts without it actually hurting. Yeah. That's the art of wrestling. You know, dude, I have to share like a tangential story.
Okay.
Because you know, like Force One and my bro RV1, now he's been retired for several years. He talked about how, like, Finley once came to their school, and these guys were trying to impress Finley by legit knocking each other out and, like, legitimately hurting each other. And like it just makes me laugh because it's like, that's not the art of wrestling. And I feel like, when you're a champion, to me that should signify that, yeah, you're capable at your art, you're adept at your art, you can lead a division. And I'm sorry, Raquel just ain't it. I think one reason, if I'm really being real with everybody, that I've been so excited for Frankie to potentially be NXT Women's Champion, it isn't just because she's good, like as a character or in the ring, but it's because I trust her with her art. Like, this is a woman that's had intergender matches. She's worked with plenty of women, in Impact. I don't worry about Frankie when she's in the ring. So, like, I want to get the women's division back on track, starting with the fucking basics of having a champion that I can feel comfortable watching without wondering, like, oh, was that how it was supposed to go, kind of thing. So, yeah, I just wanted to give a bit of extended commentary on the main event because of the extraneous circumstances. Again, I completely agree with your points, 100%. And yeah, and I hate to be that guy too, but I also think back to Triple H's comments like developmental my ass, and they want to treat NXT like a third brand. Well, this is why, to me, it'll always still be kind of developmental, because when you've got two people that are who they are in Zaya and Raquel in a main event spot, and this happens,
Dude,
what else?
Absolutely. As long as this is still a world where green as goose shit Zaya Lee can beat Mercedes Martinez clean at a pay-per-view, and Raquel Gonzalez, who, again, I feel weird even calling her green because she's been doing this for 7 fucking years at this point. But let's be real, let's just call her sloppy ass Raquel Gonzalez, beating Io Shirai, of all people, for the World Championship. As long as those things can still happen in this world, it's fucking developmental, and you can fuck yourself if you think otherwise at that point.
Perfectly said. I have nothing else to say after that. I think that's perfect punctuation on this segment.
To me, that whole, like, developmental my ass thing by Triple H, that is him purely stroking his own ego. That's him really just doing everything in his power to try and be like, we're not the Seed Show, what do you mean?
Yeah, exactly. Any other nitpicks or heats of the night?
Let's see. Like that. I don't think so. I mean, actually, yeah, I do have a nitpick. And the thing is, it's almost like a fun, like, going with it nitpick, because I got worked. Because I fucking hated that Imperium's little fucking vignette promo thing cut off the explanation for what MSK stands for. Fuck you guys. I know you're heels and you want me to hate you, but it's working, so fuck you.
Yeah, fuck you twice.
Yeah. Fuck you with a cactus.
Ouch. All right. Really nothing to add to that. I just
felt like I had to up it there, man. You really got me turned up there.
I give you props, man. I'm here for Turned Up Ashton, personally. So let us get into our NXT review. We start with the Samoa Joe promo. All fire, all intensity. He wants a piece of Karrion Kross. Kross fucked up. He's got to pay the piper. But fucking Regal comes out, tries to calm Joe down. He's like, Joe, this isn't what we agreed to. This isn't what we discussed. And Joe's like, no. Because Regal points out that Kross put his hands on Joe, the referee, because Joe was in a refereeing capacity, not Joe, the guy helping me manage NXT. And Joe, what's one of my favorite lines here of the night, talks about semantics. You're going to lecture me about semantics? And I love Joe here because it could have been so easy for Joe's character in his position to just completely disregard Regal too, but you can really see that Joe is struggling between, I do genuinely respect Regal, I genuinely respect the authority that he's vested me with, but goddamn, this fucking punk needs to be put in his place. But he does remind Regal. I will say, though, it's different coming from Joe because I think it does come from a place of respect rather than mockery. You can't control Kross. Did you know about his actions on Monday? Now, I will say, I don't know how I feel about making a guy like Regal, who has always been coded and positioned to me as a very distinguished, very esteemed kind of figure, as kind of incompetent. I don't know how I feel about coding him that way in stories, but...
You know what, though? I almost have to wonder if it's less about trying to get us to believe that Regal doesn't watch the product or is incompetent in any way, and more about Joe being made to look like he is just so fucking tunnel vision that he's not thinking about what he's saying. Because, like, Regal's literally the GM of one of the 3 major brands of WWE. Of course he watches the product. He probably had to sign off on Kross going to Raw last night. But Joe doesn't think about that because he's so fucking fueled by this rage.
Yes. Yes. And so I did like that exchange because I think it hits different coming from Joe. And then, you know, Regal again tries to rein him in, like, you know, bro, calm the fuck down. And Joe says, well, I can guarantee you before the end of this night, somebody's going to be put to sleep. And oof. So we'll get to that a bit later.
I mean, technically he wasn't wrong. He just, you know, monkey's paw curled.
Yeah, beautifully said. Do you have anything you want to add to this?
No.
Xia Li, just real quick, talked about how this is her destiny. Tonight she's going to be the first ever Chinese woman to be NXT Women's Champion. Then we get Diamond Mine, Strong and Russ versus Kushida and Fish. Again, my only real comment about this that I already made in the live wrestling discussion channel of the Discord, I like how Strong's working in Diamond Mine, and I like Diamond Mine as a whole. What did you think about this tag match, Ashton?
I wanted to love it, but Bobby Fish just bores me so fucking much that I couldn't get into it.
Yeah, God, the crowd was chanting for Fish at one point, and I know this isn't what made Paul tweet, because I do follow PW Gregory on Twitter, as you all should too. He's a wonderful man. But he said crowds were a mistake. And this is definitely one moment where I'm like, yeah, they were. Because I'm like, how can you cheer for Bobby Fish, who's the hot tag? That's another thing too, bro. I got to say, I feel like the psychology in that sense in this match was a bit off. Because I don't know how you don't have the Cruiserweight champion. I know you and I have had our opinions about Kushida, but I think you and I can both agree he's been most tolerable and at times even enjoyable in NXT. And I don't understand like why he isn't the hot tag here. But as far as Diamond Mine goes, I mean, Rust is the fucking future. I still hope one day we are calling him North American champion.
Yeah.
And Strong, look, say what you will about Strong's promos. I certainly have. Dude is just fucking so good in ring. I don't even know if the dude ages. He's really something. And him with this Diamond Mine gimmick, with this faction, I really think it's a perfect fucking fit because he can be that in-ring guy.
I'm telling you, this is like... I never really got the same vibe from Roderick in Undisputed Era that I'm getting right now, and it's like for the better. Like that, like I feel like he's upgraded. Like the intensity and the aggression are there that weren't there in UE.
Yeah, dude, I completely agree. And I know it's been kind of like a meme the last few years, like, oh, when they're heel, just make them more aggressive. But in Strong's case, because he is such, like, we joke with AJ that he put all of his EXP in being, like, amazing in ring. I don't know, saying Strong's a similar case, but, like, when it comes to just being a wrestler rather than just being a complete human being, yeah, a lot of his EXP went into in-ring. And it's nice that he's in a faction where he can really flex that, because he looked great here. Russ does tap out to the Kimura very quickly, as Foster points out in his usual caustic manner. How is someone so adorable, so visceral? I can't square that. It bothers me. But Bivens' face after the tap was amazing. Dude, I fucking love Malcolm Bivens. I know you know that, but I will never pass up an opportunity to just remind the world of that. Malcolm Bivens, we love you so much.
Yeah.
And anything else you want to say about this tag match?
I don't think so, no.
Well, all right then. We get Knight and Grimes. Essentially, Grimes tasked with getting LA Knight's bags. Drake Maverick tries to help him when he drops one. Knight gets up in Maverick's face. They have a match set for later tonight. Then we move on from that to the Odyssey Jones vignette. Now I'm going to be honest, Ashton. I didn't hear what Odyssey said. I was kind of AFK. So was it just your by the numbers kind of babyface promo? Did he say anything interesting here?
I think so. I actually might have missed this entirely. I did leave the room once or twice during NXT, and I think like at the end of the Diamond Mine match, I think was one of the times that I left. But I think I probably still heard it, and yeah, he was basically just saying that, you know, he was going to impress the NXT universe tonight and stuff.
Yeah, I'm interested to talk about his match because I do have one question for you that I'm going to ask to start that discussion, but it's just not appropriate here because we're not there yet. Then we get Joe pacing very angrily. And then we get Frankie Monet versus JC Jane. And what did you think about this match?
This was weird as hell. Who was this woman again? Other than Frankie, obviously, you know, I know who Frankie is.
She was either Jace Jane or I thought I saw JC Jane on the nameplate. Jacye, and then Jayne.
Jayne.
Yeah.
I legitimately, when I saw this match, I was like, who the fuck is that? She even got close to beating Frankie at one point. I was freaked out.
That surprised me. I will say, if I had one pickiest of nits, I wanted Frankie to be a bit more dominant here.
Exactly. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm coming from.
Because, like, on one hand, I appreciate that NXT doesn't do traditional squash matches, but here's the thing, I can forgive you and even welcome it if you do it, like, every so often. You know, and I feel like this is one of those cases. Now, I will say, I like that Jessi Kamea was out there with Frankie, and then, of course, Robert Stone came out like a few moments later, so he was kind of lagging behind. I'm going to ask you, Ashton, straight up to keep the conversation on Frankie, because where else would the conversation be? Am I right? What do we think about Jessi and Frankie challenging Stark and Io for the tag titles? Do we think that's going to be happening?
Yeah, oh, dude, I'm excited about that. I don't know if they'll win. I don't know. It seems like the NXT Women's Tag Titles are kind of hot potato-y, so it could still happen. I hope it does. I really do, because first of all, just the fact that we're getting Frankie and Io in the ring at all makes me happy. But second of all, I love this as kind of a first championship for Jessi. And
yeah,
I'm not a big fan of Zoe Stark, so I want her and Io as far away as possible because I want Io to do bigger and better things.
Oh, absolutely. So the way you answer me, you definitely agree with me that is definitely happening, that you feel like Jessi and Frankie are going to challenge for the women's tag titles.
It happens. I'm not 100% sure it will, but I hope it does. And really, I think I'd be even happier if it didn't happen right away, because that would let the Io-Zoe championship run breathe and make it more likely that Frankie and Jessi would win the titles from them.
I do agree with you, but that's kind of the interesting dynamic, right? Because if you let the title reign breathe, that means you also you let the team of Frankie and Jessi breathe so that they become credible and viable. But the more you let that breathe, the NXT Women's Championship, we can't just immediately go to Frankie being our next NXT Women's Champion because she's in a tag team. And if they're going to have a run, then you got to let that run breathe. So it does put a lot into question, not necessarily in a bad way, but it is interesting seeing the trajectory of Frankie Monet. Because, you know, now she's in a tag team, and I'll be honest, when she first burst on the scene, and I'm assuming you felt the same way, though I never want to speak for you, it seemed very clearly like a singles act. It didn't really seem like an act that it's like, oh, hey, you want to tag together, because she just seemed so above everybody.
I kind of interpret it as, like, she's such a fucking queen and a boss bitch that she literally took over this man's company and now is using him as her manager, but, like, she still tells him what to do and could fire him if she wanted to, while Jessi is now like her understudy almost, which is perfect.
I will say, too, just on a more meta side, I am glad that Robert Stone is still visible on TV, because I think normally with stuff like this, you'd be so scared of, like, okay, well, it's mine now, and then you just don't see the guy. But I think Robert Stone still has so much entertainment value. Like,
dude,
that would
Robert
be
Stone is the greatest leech in wrestling right now. He needs this.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everybody involved, especially Robert Stone and especially Jessi, are going to benefit from this. But even Frankie, though, because, you know, in the culture we live in today, and you and I are immersed in it, so obviously we can speak authoritatively on it. If Frankie got to the title too quickly, I think there would be people that would bitch about it. Maybe even people that don't like Raquel like we do would still find a reason to complain, because it's like, well, yeah, I don't like her, but why couldn't it go to, I think a most immediate example would be like a Dakota or something. By letting Frankie take the scenic route a little bit, I think it gets people more accustomed to her. It lets her really find her footing in NXT, which I think she already has, just in my opinion. And, you know, I don't think anybody can complain about, you know, the world title getting hot-shotted or whatever. So I am actually cool with this on the whole. I think there are far more positives to this. You're making other people. You're establishing yourself further. You're taking your time. I see nothing but upside to this, even with the few negatives that could exist. So good stuff here. Frankie does win. And then we go from that to a Gargano and Theory segment, getting interviewed about Gargano losing to Cross. And then Kyle O'Reilly interrupts, says he heard what Austin Theory said about him being a crybaby, and they set a match for tonight. And Johnny interestingly said, hey, you know, last week you saw me facing Cross, I was on my own. You want to be like me? You want to be like Papa John? Well, tonight you're on your own. So Johnny more or less telling Theory to handle his business. Do you have anything you want to say about this?
No. I will say, this was the one where Theory tried to get a word in edgewise and had to walk out, right?
No, that was later in the show. That was later in the show. I think you're thinking about when The Way was arguing backstage.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking about. So what was this again?
This was Gargano and Theory being interviewed by Mackenzie, and they were originally like being questioned about, Cross Gargano from, I think, last week. And then Kyle O'Reilly interrupted, said, "Hey, Theory, I heard your comments about calling me a crybaby. I'm in a fighting mood."
Oh, was this the one where Johnny patted Theory on the ass and basically implied that he wouldn't be out there with him?
Yeah, exactly, because I even said, Johnny told him you're on your own. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
I didn't even realize he said that because, again, I had a few things going on during this episode, so this must have just been one of the things that I missed. But yeah, this was, I mean, the promo itself, I don't really have anything to say. The match itself, though, was honestly a lot more fun than I thought it would be.
Agreed. We'll be getting to that, though, in just a few moments. First, Barrett and Bronson Reed. Really nothing, again, to say here. Bronson Reed just owns that he lost the North American Championship, but the only way to move is, forward. And he's looking to face the best, in Adam Cole, because everybody always, says he's the best. And I do look at it as wise when Barrett questioned the wisdom of the decision. So we're getting Reed and Cole in the main event next week. So that should be interesting, I guess. I mean, honestly, I'm with you that I feel like Reed did everything he could do in NXT. And look, I warmed up to Reed a little bit towards the end there, but I just want to be perfectly clear. I have no interest in seeing Bronson Reed as NXT champion. I mean, if he beats Cross for it, like anybody but Cross, but if Cross is going to vacate it, given the events of tonight, I don't want Reed to fill that vacancy. I don't think Bronson Reed would anything NXT World Champion. That is just my opinion. People disagree. Like, obviously, I respect that, but I'm just hoping that it doesn't go that far. I'm hoping we can kind of temper ourselves with the Bronson Reed experiment, if you will. Do you have anything you want to say about the interview?
No.
Okay. So then we get KOR versus Theory, and I know you preceded this by saying this is a lot more fun than you thought it would be. So what would you like to talk about with it? Or some of your standout moments?
Okay, so first of all, I obviously not a fan of Austin Theory. He annoys the hell out of me in the ring. Kyle O'Reilly is more specifically what made this fun to me. That moment on the outside when Theory lifted the top thing of steps and Kyle fucking snapped on him and then immediately gets him in the ring and, like, how long did it take for him to end the match at that point? Seconds, I feel like?
Yeah, I almost wonder if they're hinting while not actually saying it. And again, it's just the Lucha Underground fan in me that, like, yeah, Kyle was given PTSD by what Adam Cole did to him. And that's the end fucking result, because he snapped on Theory here. I thought this was a brilliant touch of character work. Excellent. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, so what do you think O'Reilly does in the meantime? Do you think they're going to do it again, Cole O'Reilly at TakeOver 36? Because we know that's happening August 22nd. They did a few commercials for it tonight. Do we think that could be in the books?
Dude, I am so sorry. What is happening in 2 weeks?
No. Dude, let me go through this again. We got a few commercials tonight for TakeOver 36, August 22nd. I asked you, given that O'Reilly beat Theory and he had the PTSD moment with the steel steps that you mentioned, do we think that we're going to do O'Reilly Cole 3 at TakeOver 36? I wanted your opinion on that.
Oh my god, yeah. I don't. You said August 22nd?
Yeah, that's what I believe the date that I saw. August 22nd.
August 22nd. That is a Sunday. So that's like a week after SummerSlam.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, because SummerSlam's the 15th, so.
Jesus. Yeah. I feel like that's almost too far out for me to even predict, just because O'Reilly and Adam haven't really interacted as much lately.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, because Great American Bash was 2 weeks ago? So the 2 weeks ago, yeah, it was 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
So, they are kind of in a cool-down period. But I don't see Reed beating Cole next week either. I do see Cole getting that win in the main event. And, like, what are these guys going to do? Now,
I feel like they're really building up for Cole Cross.
But see, here... Okay, I'm going to say this. I just want to take it slow. I can see why you say that. And if Cross remains NXT champion, I agree. However, I just want to say this. If in kayfabe, Cross gets stripped of the title because he wants to commit more to the main roster, get revenge on Jeff Hardy, and fulfill his other two goals of, WWE champion and WrestleMania and whatever fucking horse shit, I could see for the vacant NXT title, O'Reilly Cole 3 for the championship at TakeOver 36. Maybe they both win qualifying matches or something.
Dude, I was even just going to say, let me ask you this. If Regal does strip Cross of the title and basically fire him from NXT and fully send him to Raw, what do you think the odds are that we get, like, one of those big Regal announcements where he's like, at NXT TakeOver 36, we're going to have a 6-man ladder match to crown the new NXT champion. And we have like qualifying matches to see who gets into that. And like Cole versus Reed can maybe even be one.
Okay, so I'm going to answer your question as truthfully as I can. I do think we're going to get a big Regal announcement. I just don't think it's... I get the spirit of your example. I think it would be more like a mini tournament with the finals between like just a one-on-one match, obviously, at TakeOver 36. And I say that because I feel like they're kind of... How do I put this? I feel like in a way they're kind of marky about their world title. Sometimes we will get stip matches. I know Finn Balor and Kevin Owens once did a ladder match and stuff like that. I know Gargano and Cole did a 2 out of 3 falls match. I think one of them was even like a cage match or whatever. Yeah. But I feel like most of the time, if they can keep it just a straight one-on-one wrestling match, that like that's what they want to do. Yeah. And I feel like, yeah, Cole and O'Reilly could be finalists. Like I feel like it would be a mini tournament. Cole and O'Reilly in the finals, because dude, honestly, after the end of tonight, I just can't help but think that Cross is going to be stripped of the title. Like that's where my mind goes.
See, I agree with you on that. I think that is the right call.
Yeah,
it's kind of unfortunate that it does throw away all of the build that they've been doing between Adam and Karrion, but the sooner we get rid of Cross, the better. After that, it kind of defaults to Adam being kind of directionless, which I guess I don't know. Because he and Kyle did technically both beat each other. So it does make sense that there would be a rubber match there. I just feel like the heat for that program has died down so much.
Well, here's what I'm concerned about, bro, and I don't even mind saying this because we're so far away from TakeOver that this isn't about, I got to protect it for preview predictions, because that's like fucking weeks away. I would expect O'Reilly to win. Like, Cole had already such a monster run with NXT champion. Yeah. This isn't like a Balor situation where I don't think there's a need to run that back. No, yeah. But here's the thing. But here's the thing. I feel like if O'Reilly does win, where does that leave Cole? Once again, I'm asking myself as an Adam Cole fan, why the fuck isn't this dude on Raw or SmackDown? Because Cross talks about main eventing WrestleMania and being WWE champion. He talks that shit, and I'm like, that should be Adam Cole. Like, that's just my instinctive reaction, is that should be Adam Cole's path. But it hasn't been, and it's been frustrating me, as you know. So either he wins the title for a second time, which I feel like is completely unnecessary, in my opinion, or he loses to O'Reilly, which I look at as the right move immediately. But then what the fuck does Cole do? Because, like, not really much else for him to do. So, like, is that call-up finally going to happen? So I'm definitely conflicted about it. And as somebody mentioned, who was it that said that? Oh, it was Foster. That is if Cross vacates it. I mean, dude, imagine if Cross doesn't vacate it. Like, what are we going to do, that Joe Cross for the title? Because I love Joe, but I don't want to see him competing for the NXT title. I'd rather that be a grudge match. I feel like it doesn't need the championship. So I feel like NXT's kind of behind here.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of partially asking this to Foster, too, because he was the first one that said it. What does Cross refusing to vacate the title even look like?
Yeah, like, that is a great point in kayfabe, because I know, because see, here's the thing. If he does refuse to vacate it and he gets away with it, that makes Regal look the absolute worst.
No, that's my question, though, is how the fuck would he do that? Like, I feel like we're talking about a dream scenario here where Cross, you know, the dude playing Cross somehow has the power to veto a booking decision.
Yeah, I don't see it. You know, and if it does happen, to me, if it does happen, the effects kayfabe wise, and maybe I'm only saying it because I do take it a bit more seriously given that we do the podcast, but like I just look at it as disastrous because now all authority in NXT is illegitimate. If you can have your champion put his hands on the authority figure and lay him out and keep his world title, and we're not talking about a McMahon-Austin thing because the champion is very clearly the heel, all authority is illegitimate. So, like...
Oh, yeah. Okay, just to clarify, Foster said not that he refuses to vacate it, but he's wondering if they're even considering having him vacate it.
I mean, again, I think kayfabe-wise, if you don't have that as a narrative option, and in fact, if you don't choose that as a narrative option, I have concerns about that. Because, again, this isn't like an Austin McMahon thing where we can expect Regal to take bumps and get in the ring and do a whole-ass program with Cross. That portion of Regal's career is over, and it's been over for years. Now, Joe as a stand-in is fine, I guess, but for me personally, again, as I said, I look at that match more as a grudge match And, like, to me, you don't even really need the NXT championship.
Yeah.
So I don't know what NXT does here. I just think the easiest path, given that he already went on Raw and lost to fucking Jeff Hardy, you vacate the title off of him, and then you just have him commit to the main roster full time.
Dude,
Good
it's so
fucking luck with that, though.
I have so much shit rolling through my mind right now. It's ridiculous. I have this thought of, like, Cross. I don't even, like, the whole idea of Cross refusing to vacate the title would obviously have to be like a storyline thing. But then, like, I don't know what Regal would do. The only choice that would really make sense at that point is to set up a match with Joe. And I think you and I both agree that that's probably not great. Like, we don't know if Joe is even cleared to wrestle. Obviously, if they'd set up a match for him, he'd be cleared to fucking wrestle. But I don't really want current Samoa Joe to be NXT champion right now. I kind of want somebody that's actually, like, a member of the NXT roster to become NXT champion next. And, like, I don't know. God, this is fucking difficult. Like, it's frustrating too. I almost, like, here's what I think is a very distinct, God, no, I can't even say that because it's never fucking happened before. Here's what would be really fucking cool in my mind if Vince was open to it. All right, you ready for this?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
Cross gets stripped of the title, shows up on Raw again next week, beats Jeff Hardy. Following week, or I guess I shouldn't say following week, literally the day after on NXT, Regal announces that he's being stripped of the title. He's not here. He's not even going to show up tonight. We are going to be holding some kind of a tournament to crown our next champion. The winner will be crowned in the finals at TakeOver 36 on August 22nd. Cool, set, done. Cole makes it to the finals, loses to O'Reilly. Perfect, done, moving on. Cross and Hardy ends up being a little mini feud on TV that actually climaxes at SummerSlam with Hardy beating Cross clean, straight up, twist of fate, swanton bomb, Cross kicks out after the 3, whatever you need to do to protect the fucker. Adam Cole shows up on Raw the Monday after TakeOver to continue his feud with Cross. That's what I want.
Interesting.
That's the I just want Adam Cole to keep being able to dunk on Cross on the mic. That's really all I want in this world.
Yeah. And again, we have another instance. See, okay, I'm going to separate my feelings about Cross personally, and I want to talk about him purely in a wrestling context, okay? My problem here with Cross is, again, we almost have a worse Asuka situation. Because at least with Asuka, right, they protected the streak a good bit into her main roster run. Now, obviously, she lost at WrestleMania to Charlotte, blah, blah, blah. We all know that already.
Well,
but she didn't lose it on night fucking
one.
one.
Even emphasize that. Like, her first loss was to fucking Charlotte, who, even if you and I don't like her, she is literally the most credible woman that they have right now, and have had for the last, like, 5 years, it feels like. And that was the first woman to beat Asuka on the main roster, and it was at Mania. Like, those two little elements are actually really big deals in terms of, like, they kept Asuka's record clean until WrestleMania and a one-on-one match with Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas with Cross, he loses, like, he won that match on main event that everybody, like, he was trending because the entrance was so awkward and simple and whatever. And then, you know, he loses on Raw to Jeff Hardy, which we've already talked about to death. But it's like, you've taken away his value there. And to that point, I do get where people like just Alex are coming from. I've been a little giddy because I feel like NXT shouldn't platform trash. But again, that's a separate issue, and I said I wasn't going to bring that in. The other problem, though, is not only do you have a worse Asuka, but why I say, like, you have another Asuka is she never lost to anybody on the way on NXT, and I adore Asuka, and she's fucking wonderful, and she's a first ballot Hall of Famer. But I always believe in putting that next person over. Cross now is going to leave NXT. To me, in my mind, if it goes down the way that I'm thinking, well, maybe I'm wrong. That's why we're going to tune in next week and come back here next week and do it again. That he won't have put anybody over. So Jeff Hardy goes over, who doesn't need it because he's Jeff Hardy. Not that I like Cross winning and being protected, but again, keeping it in a wrestling context. And then Cross has been the world champion who no-sells shit, who pops up in the middle of a fucking promo in the parking lot to lay the guy out that, like, hit him with a car door a few times, is going to walk out putting nobody over. dude, this whole thing, like, optics-wise, is a fucking mess. Because I don't know what you do here. Like, and I think that's why, not to speak for you, but I feel like that's part of the reason why you struggled a little bit to, as I thought it was adorable when you said the first time, sort your ducks. Because you look at this,
I
and you see how
really what it comes down to is I'm struggling to make it make sense.
And that's just it. Well, how can you when, like, all these moving parts are here, and you can move a part one way, like I just kind of, went into, and it's like, okay, but then you got to deal with this, or you can move it another way, but okay, you got to deal with that. It's like every solution to the problem, I think, brings its own mess, is the problem. And there's no clean break here. There's no clean solution to this, at least in my mind. I guess, to me, again, vacating and just having him stay up on the main roster is the cleanest solution. Yes, Abel, absolutely. But, man, to me, they really bungled this. I don't know. And again, I do say that from a place of somebody that doesn't like Karrion personally, but even keeping it from a wrestling perspective, I just feel like, yeah, this really wasn't, I don't know what they're doing here. I feel like he shouldn't have even touched the main roster until he resolved being NXT champion. Because here's the thing. I know Kevin Owens did it, but again, big difference. He beat John Cena, and he laid him out on night one. When he showed up on Raw, got that
but this was during a period where Kevin Owens, the character, was picking fights with fucking everyone. This dude had a feud going on with like 8 different people at the same time just in NXT, and then he added another one in John Cena.
Exactly. So, like, oh, God, I don't know. What segment are we even on with this?
I mean, it's so frustrating, not even necessarily because, like, Cross is just such a shitter, but because I felt like the Cross Cole program had so much momentum, and now that just feels completely derailed. And, to take it a step further, NXT almost kind of derailed it on their own by introducing the Cross Joe program.
Yeah. Yeah, because all signs really seem to be pointing that, like,
dude,
Cross and Cole were going to do a program, and then Joe.
What the fuck is NXT doing with Cross? Because, like, we never got Cross O'Reilly, which felt like such a slam dunk. We never got Cross Cole. I just don't understand it.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just thinking of it as, well, Cross beat both of those guys in that multi-man match. But, like, fuck that.
Yeah, because a multi-man match is not a one-on-one match, and not to dunk on this guy, because, again, I'm speaking purely in kayfabe. I'm not doing Adam Cole shtick right now. He choked out O'Reilly. Like, that's the guy he put to sleep was O'Reilly, not Cole.
That's true.
So, Cole, could just be like, well, you never really beat me one-on-one, which would be true. That would be factually true.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I really don't know what they're thinking.
This is the most baffled I think I've ever been by an NXT to main roster call up kind of decision, because like we've had champions get called up before, we've had people get vacated, vacating titles before because of call ups. We've had lots of instances like this. Nothing ever exactly like this before. This is really confounding to me.
Yeah, we'll have to see how it all goes.
Especially with such a ridiculous disparity in his power level between NXT and main roster WWE, because like NXT Karrion Kross, you're wondering if even Walter could beat this guy, and then he goes up to Raw and takes a fat L to Jeff Hardy on his first night.
Yeah,
the power of 4 words, I assume.
Yeah, really. They just. Man, they bungled this. Whoa, that thunder. Yeah, it's storming over here, guys.
Oh, jeez.
So let's kind of pick up the pace a little bit with this, huh? So, yeah, we were on Kyle O'Reilly versus Austin Theory. We talked so long, I lost my place about where we were in the show.
Yeah, and dude, that's the thing. I definitely could see O'Reilly being the next NXT champion. I just don't know how the fuck they're going to get there, because it could involve him beating Adam in a match for the vacant title, or they could just have him beat Cross. I don't know. I really do not know.
Yeah, I don't know either. But we're going to find out. I do think TakeOver 36, though, with the way they're kind of building up with the commercials, they're probably going to want the world title match to be a big deal. So maybe you are right about the big Regal announcement, bro. I honestly have no fucking clue. So after that, we get Raquel and Dakota interview. Raquel just more or less saying, she's going to retain. Many women have talked the way that Zaya has before, blah, blah, blah. Dakota does mention how Zaya disrespected her, and tonight Raquel's going to take care of it. Then we get LDF and Hit Row. First of all, as is obligatory on TWitWoW Reviews, Santos.
don't tell me his internet died right as he was doing that. Oh no, guys, I think John lost his internet while he was holding in a letter there. Holy shit, no fucking way. This isn't me, I don't think, right? We're still live and everything. Oh my god. Yeah, we are still live. Holy shit, this is John. The storm got him, guys. Yeah, the call dropped. Oh god. Oh no, oh geez. I don't know how long it's gonna take for him to get back on. I might have to actually just end this and then we can come back online when his internet comes back on. I'm gonna actually message him, like text message him. Just to say like, power out all the way or just a flicker? Question mark. Okay, I sent him a message. Guys, I don't know how long I'm going to be able to stall for time here. If he doesn't get back to me within the next, like, minute or so, I'm probably just going to end the stream, and we'll be back to review the rest of the show. Jesus Christ. Out, or coming back soon? Oh, God. Because the thing is, guys, John has, like, really shitty internet, and the company that he gets his internet from takes sometimes days to come out and service his box. So this could be a really, really shitty situation, actually. Oh no. Oh, and of course my phone's service isn't working correctly, and I'm not being able to send this text right. God damn it. Oh, this would happen right now. Paul, he's in fucking Oz by now. God damn it. Oh, son of a bitch. Oh my god, I can't believe this shit. Come on, phone. Send the goddamn text. Oh, well, guys. Yeah, Abel, this is a travesty. Okay, it's sent. It actually sent now. I don't know why it took so long, but it's sent. Based on the fact that it's, more than 90 seconds later and he still hasn't gotten back to me, I'm pretty sure his internet is just out at this point, and he's going to have to call his shitty ISP to hope that they come out in somewhat decent time. Oh boy. Let's see here. I'm trying to see. It says, I wonder if he could call me on his tablet. I don't know if he has data though. Oh man. Oh, this is really unfortunate. Yeah, Mother Nature, man. This is the direct result of global warming, people. Global warming causes more natural disasters and storms and stuff. Makes it more volatile. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I don't think we're getting John back tonight, guys. I think I'm going to have to just end it here, unfortunately. I'm trying to stall as much as I can. That this happens! Oh! Are we back? Hello? I can't hear you. Make sure your mic's not muted and make sure your mic's plugged in. Oh, he closed out of the call. He's probably going to call me back, maybe. I don't know. I can't believe that he actually managed to give me a call, but I don't necessarily know what's going on here that caused me not to be able to hear him. Oh my god. I am still live, so if he does manage to get a call into me in such a way that we can hear each other, we will be able to finish this review. I was so close to calling it there too. I managed to stall just long enough, I guess, that his internet recovered or something. Yeah, it's, oh man. Well, that audio call lasted all of 18 seconds. Abel, John giving us a hope spot. I still haven't gotten a text back from him, so I'm wondering if he's going to try calling me again. Maybe like his mic got unplugged or messed up due to the storm or something. I hope there wasn't like a power surge that fucked anything internally in his computer up. That would suck. Hard. Oh, I have an idea. Let's see what happens here. Okay, given that it's not saying that he's seen my message, I'm guessing his internet went out like right away, like as soon as he tried calling me, and I couldn't hear him because his internet had already died by the time that he would have been able to get on, which led to the call dropping within seconds afterwards. The thing is, I wonder if I could call him like cell phone wise. Let me see if I can call him, get him on the phone, and then put him on speaker. And maybe we could actually do this thing with him on the phone on speaker. I've got a ring, everyone. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. No, it's fine. The thing is, dude, I never ended the stream. We are still technically live, so if you want to call me back, we can still finish this review. Okay. That's good. Yeah. Perfect. Excellent. Well, good news, everyone. He was having some kind of a problem with his mic that his brother-in-law managed to fix. So he should be calling me back, and we will be able to finish this thing pending another bad lightning strike, I'm assuming. I don't know. Things can be unpredictable, but if all things go according to plan, we're going to be able to finish this review. I can't believe this happened. Jesus Christ. Next thing you know, it'll strike around me and it'll turn my internet off and I will just be off the air and it'll just die. It'll just be dead. Oh my God. This is entertaining, I hope. I really hope you're all entertained. Hey, in the meantime, I guess now is as good a time as any for me to announce that I have actually purchased a laptop. It actually was available with a 5 to 7 day shipping time, and I went ahead and bought it. So I'm very excited about that. Javaris, I really don't think it's best for me to say where John lives publicly like this. I'm not trying to dox the dude, but I am gonna. Hello.
Oh, thank Christ. I was so scared that my battery was this thing. Yeah, okay, good. So we're still live, you said?
We are still live, and dude, it was so weird because you were about to get your shit in, something about Legato and Santos, and you were, I swear to God, you were about to hold in the letter M, I want to say, but I don't know for sure. But what's really important is that now you can do it because you literally got cut off by your internet dying right as you started.
Yeah, this storm is fucking crazy, guys. I'd be in a more playful mood, but the storm's kind of scared me a little bit. I legitimately thought this power source that powers my mic got fried, and that we were going to have to do this review on my fucking tablet. So, okay, to try and go through this review quickly. Santos, nice. Insert sexual remarks here. They're going to do mariachi. We don't deserve it. We're plebs. We don't deserve culture. They call out Hit Row. Say that Santos says he's going to take the North American Championship. He's going to bring it home for himself and his hermanos. And then Hit Row comes out, and Top Dollar raps on LDF, and it's fucking amazing because Top Dollar, I really think, is going to be made a main eventer because of this group. Fucking Swerve recounts their history over the Cruiserweight title and how, fucking Santos's boys, fucking Mendoza and Wild, protected him. And now he's got a crew, so, there's no taking the title from him. I know we had a lively discussion in the live wrestling channel of the Discord about who's face and who's heel. Ultimately, though, regardless of the dynamics, I really enjoyed this segment. I like this factional warfare. I love them both, so I'm genuinely conflicted in the best possible way. How did you feel about this?
Fully agree. I love both of these factions. I find myself feeling sympathetic towards LDF, probably more because of the way that Top Dollar murdered on the mic.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, this faction is going to make him a main event level talent because he gets mic time, he gets screen time, and he kills it every time. This dude has star written all over him. I am so excited about him. And knowing that Swerve is running with talent like that just makes him look even better, too. So, everything we've ever wanted for Swerve is finally fucking happening, and it couldn't happen to a better performer. And Santos, make no mistake, I want to give the world to this dude. It's so hard because I'm so happy for Swerve, and I love Hit Row. LDF, though, has got that drip, though, man. Again, I was going to do a longer bit, but this storm has put the fear of Kyrie in me. So, again, insert sexual comments here. And I just can't wait to see the one-on-one matchup because I think it could be a match of the year contender. Those two never disappoint. I think the segment ends with Swerve. Was it Wild or Mendoza he hit with the guitar? Do you know? Because I hit him in the back. It was Wild. Of course it was Wild. Him and his fuck. So that was that segment. Then we get the way backstage. Very clearly they're cracking like an egg, baby. Like an egg. They're arguing. Indy's like, Conda, stop being so hard on him. You're being hard on all of us. If he wants to kiss Dexter, let him kiss Dexter. Clearly projecting. Candace, in full mother mode, wants to call the therapist. She's like, this is all out of control. What's happening? She's clearly projecting. Theory wants to get a word in edgewise. That's not happening. And, yeah, the way seems at their lowest point. How did you feel about this segment? You got anything you want to add?
I'm very curious where it leads to as far as Theory's character goes, and I just can't get enough Index.
Absolutely. Index for life. I do agree with you about Theory's trajectory because he just seemed to walk off. He seemed to actually, almost give up on the way, in a way. Yeah. So, yeah, that happened. Then after that, we get Regal and Joe backstage. Regal again tells Joe, Cross is going to be here, so I hope you greet him and greet him calmly. As fucking if, Regal. Come on, you know better than this. After that, we get Andre Chase versus Odyssey Jones. Now, here was the question I had for you that amazingly, amidst all the fucking crazy shit on my end, I didn't forget to ask you. What was the finish of this? How did Odyssey Jones beat Chase? Because I know it wasn't with the World's Strongest Slam. At least it's not what it looked like. It was almost like a weird,
rock bottom style Uranagi, I think.
Yeah. Okay.
It's really unfortunate because he literally used the World's Strongest Slam to win a match on 205 Live a couple weeks ago.
Yeah. You told me that. And I got to tell you guys, I fucks with Odyssey Jones. I like this dude. I love the Nation of Domination inspired Mark Henry gear. And I love that we all had symbiosis isn't the word, but a mental uplink in the TWitWoW Discord because everybody said Mark Henry, and I was even having the internal dialogue, am I going to be that guy if I say he looks like Mark Henry? And then I was in good company, so I appreciate you all having my back, internally at least. Great look, great explosiveness. Andre Chase wasn't bad either. Admittedly, though, I was paying far more attention to Odyssey Jones, so I can't recount as many memorable moments with Chase.
I felt like Chase did really well because I watched the Odyssey Jones match on, I forget the guy's first name, but his last name was Waller. Grayson Waller, I want to say the dude's name was on it on 205. And Odyssey was okay in that match. Waller, I don't know, he seems decent, but not great. This match, Andre Chase did so much more and kept the match so much more interesting than Waller did. So I was genuinely impressed by Chase in that sense. But also, I have kind of a working knowledge of Andre Chase because he's formerly known as Harlem Bravado. For those of you that are familiar with early 2010s Ring of Honor, the Bravado brothers, the one brother Harlem is now Andre Chase in WWE, or in NXT, I should say. So, yeah, it was definitely a great performance, I think, from both guys personally.
Nice. Yeah, I agree. Again, Odyssey Jones, I feel like, is definitely a star. Really excited about this dude. Great match. Can't wait to see him in the next round. Then we get the MSK interview. You already kind of talked about this enough in our opening segment with the nitpick. Yeah. They go through the whole MSK thing. Imperium interrupts. I feel like them and Thatcher and Ciampa are the tag teams targeted at the Boomer demo. I swear, because the way Imperium talks, it has such a conservative vibe to me. And it's just, ugh. So then Pete Dunne and Oney Lorcan. Dunne's just an angsty teenager, even though he's like in his mid-20s. And he's like, oh, if you think you're better than us, then prove it. And it's like, oh, okay. LA Knight versus Drake Maverick. Drake actually gets the win. I will say, the only positive about this, because I know we don't care for LA Knight, again, Cameron Grimes is eating this role up.
Yep.
He's getting the sympathy. He's working us with it. It's awesome. But I think the other positive, and I could be alone in this, I do like that it seems like they're treating the $1 Million Championship a bit more seriously. And I say that because I would 100% would not be surprised if they ran this match back for the $1 Million title. Maybe they won't, and I'll retract my statement. But if they do, it's nice to see the $1 Million Championship is actually going to be defended regularly. And I can't believe I'm about to say this sentence because it's not like I'm the biggest fan of the dude. But if that's the case, when is Jake Atlas getting his title shot? Because as he brought up when this whole concept was reintroduced, he's beaten both Cameron Grimes and fucking LA Knight. So I almost wouldn't mind LA Knight versus Jake Atlas at TakeOver 36 for that title, for the championship's sake, and for Jake Atlas to get something to do. So we'll have to see what happens.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But I got to tell you, Cameron Grimes is a babyface. The sooner we get him out of the Butler getup and into main event programs as a babyface, the better. Because I am living for this. I think it's really good stuff. Cross exits his car and Joe meets him immediately.
There's
to pop him in the mouth.
a small part of me that wants LA Knight in NXT World Title contention, just because that would mean that Cameron Grimes would be the one to beat him for it.
That's an excellent point, actually. Yeah, you definitely spit some facts there. We'll have to see, because I could definitely see LA Knight getting there. Because, dude, he's already, I think he's like 36 already. He might even be 38
he's
already.
On the older side, yeah.
Yeah, he might be 38 already even. In fact, let me confirm. I don't like using two different numbers on TwitWoW. There's only one number that's the truth.
He is 38, yeah. And not only is he 38, but he's less than 4 months away from being 39.
Yeah, like, NXT is going to be where he does, like, his biggest work to me at this stage of his career. Like, if he gets a main roster run, I don't think it would be for that long. So him being a future NXT champion, it's a possibility. I mean, hell, we saw Joe and Nakamura trade the title. I think Joe was on the older end when he was NXT champion. So I think it's viable for LA Knight. I'll put it to you that way. But yeah, Cross gets out of his car. Joe pops him in the mouth, and I think he screams something as only Joe can. Then he walks back. I think he's just knowing that that's just a small taste. He's going to finish it later tonight. Then I didn't even put this in my notes because that's right. I was prepping my rice dish, which I actually had to restart because of the power flicker. So don't know how late I'll be eating tonight. But Xia Li versus Raquel. We already talked about it extensively in Heat of the Night, so really not much to say. I did appreciate Xia's attempted psychology in this match, trying to work over Raquel's leg.
Yeah.
I really wanted to praise this match, dude. I really did, because even watching it, I'm like, it's really not that bad. And then that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, I wanted to.
It's like I wanted to give you a chance, Raquel, and then you go
exactly.
It.
Exactly. So yeah, Dakota does not turn on Raquel. I'm still committed though, because we're enough weeks away that I feel like Dakota is the most viable challenger at the moment, because I don't know who the fuck else, especially because Dakota beat Ember, who they could have run that match back, I guess. I don't know who challenges Raquel here. So Dakota to me is just the most straightforward option. And quite honestly, I still stand by that she could maybe even beat Raquel for it. But if that match is on the card, we're only going to have talks like that when we get closer to TakeOver 36 preview and predictions. Then we get the Joe promo. Again, we already had a big discussion really about all of this, which is kind of set off about, I don't know, it was KOR versus Austin Theory, because I was like, Okay, Ashton, could Kyle and Cole face each other for the NXT Championship and take over 36? And then that's when we both just co-authored a dissertation together. So there's really not much to say here.
Days.
Yes, Edith, indeed.
Good times.
Yeah. So before the lightning attacked. Yeah. So do you have anything you want to say about this that wasn't already said in our co-authored dissertation?
Do I? No, I think we can move on.
All right, Dr. Ashton. Well, then that's NXT for us. And I, as Dr. John, we have one more segment. High spots and low shots.
John out here giving me that much credit. I went to school for 8 years to earn a doctorate. Damn.
Well, I mean, we did do a dissertation, and I'm pretty sure we passed the dissertation defense because we really didn't lose much of our audience. So, yeah, as far as I'm concerned, Dr. Ash and Dr. John up in this bitch.
You left the call due to a fucking lightning storm, and we didn't lose our audience. I don't know what the hell's going on today.
Yeah, I know, right? Thank you guys for waiting for me. I love all of you. So, high spots, low shots. My low shot, God, I want to make it cross, but that would only be for Raw reasons, and we don't do Raw reviews.
Yeah. Let's not open that Pandora's box.
I'm just going to say low shot, very simple, Andre Chase. You know, because you figure not only did you lose a match, you lost a tournament match, which was going to guarantee you a title shot against the champion of your choice. I mean, to have that kind of power and to lose that kind of match, that's a big stage opportunity that just didn't come together for you. So Andre Chase is going to be my very basic low shot.
Yeah, that makes sense. My low shot is going to be Joaquin Wilde because he just got fucking destroyed.
Yeah, he really did. High spot.
Oh, actually, you know what? Let's make Wilde my honorary low shot. My actual low shot tonight is going to be Austin Theory because here's some advice, Austin. Stop fucking rolling into your moves, jackass.
Owned. All right. What's my high spot? I say I fear a storm, and yet I'm going to take my sweet ass time.
While you're talking or while you're thinking, let me just say, I feel like Austin saw one Rolling Thunder from RVD and was like, you know what? That's what I'm going to base my entire moveset around right there. That's perfect.
Moveset? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he based his entire identity off of it. He loves it so much. Honorary high spot. I don't even care that they lost. Roderick Strong. I am loving him in this Diamond Mine fucking role. And it's really great to see him in a faction contextualized by the one thing he's really, really fucking good at. I guess the other high spot would be...
Wait, you're taking two?
Well, no, because I said honorary high spot, Roderick Strong.
Okay.
Yes. I'm going to say my actual high spot, though, is Swerve. Because he showed that history really has changed. He's running with a crew now, so Santos really isn't going to have it as easy as he did the first time they did this. And, yeah, he got to hit Wild with one of the mariachi guitars to end the segment. Hit Rose standing tall. Great night for Swerve. So Swerve's my actual high spot. What about you?
I do love that, but I'm a little insulted that Top Dollar insulted mariachi music tonight.
I know. It was wrong. It was wrong, but it's a turf war. There are no innocents.
I feel like it's going to devolve into Santos saying rap is crap or something.
Oh, God. I hope he says it in a more classy, sophisticated way, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right. My high spot, I guess I am going to keep it relatively simple and just roll with... See, now I had a thought, and now I changed my mind because it's not actually... I was going to say Frankie Monet, but, like, she struggled way too much with the girl that she was in the ring with tonight, I feel like. So I'm not going to give it to her. High spot is going to go to... God, this shouldn't be this difficult.
I really just thought we were going to give it to Kyle O'Reilly for just dominating fucking Austin Theory.
I want to give it to Kyle O'Reilly, though, because I already gave my low shot to Austin Theory, and I hate it when my high spot and low shot are both from the same thing.
Right.
High spot... Actually... Oh, shit. I guess, God, Bobby Fish. I hate it, but...
Oh, really?
He did win the match. He did win the match for his team.
You don't want to give it to, like, Odyssey Jones or something? Oh, okay.
Yeah, dude, I fucking blanked on the breakout tournament. Odyssey Jones is a way better high spot. I'll give it to him.
kudos. I should also be your honorary high spot for coming through in the clutch like that. Just saying.
No.
But
See, I'm fully with Abel. You and I both deserve high spots. Me for stalling for time, and you for overcoming the odds against the storm.
yeah, exactly. So
But
Abel's really
also
ultimately
you,
the right
you
here.
get extra credit for coming in the clutch there. The reminder for Odyssey Jones.
Fuck yeah. Fuck you, nature. I didn't mean it. I'm so sorry. Okay, let me
No,
just do
he
a quick
didn't mean
outro
it.
here.
Fuck you, nature. Go fuck
Whoa,
yourself.
don't double down. We have climate problems. All right, listen. I'm gonna be quick about
my
the outro,
ass,
guys.
nature.
I'm just gonna be quick about this because I do have fear put in me now that I didn't have before. So with that said, this has been NXT. This has been TWitWoW, the best wrestling podcast made for wrestling fans by wrestling fans on the web today. I'm John. That's my corner generation, guys. Be sure to like the video, file out. The more likes you do, the more likely you are to be the top result for our next reviews on YouTube. And one of the best way you do, the top is the only place you belong. So please leave that like, subscribe, click the bell icon notification so you never get missed any of that TWitWoW goodness. Check out everything we're involved in the description box, including the TWitWoW Patreon. We've been doing a lot of TWitWoW request lives lately. Check out the Patreon down below for our price breakdowns to see how you too can get your own TWitWoW request live. We also offer additional Q&A questions. Q&A will be July 29th this month because we do Q&As the last Thursday of every month. Non-Patreon owners get 3 Q&A questions every Q&A, but if you donate $1 to the Patreon, you get 2 additional questions for 5 Q&A questions. So be sure to donate $1 to the TWitWoW Patreon. I've already mentioned the TWitWoW Discord. We do Among Us Mondays. We have a channel for literally everything. Great group of people, only $3 a month. So I would just go ahead and donate that $3 so you get both that and the 2 additional Q&A questions. So it's all there on the Patreon. Be sure to check out everything else we're involved in the description box, including our Twitter handles. I am at John_TWitWoW. My pinned tweet is to collect Q&A questions. Easiest place to submit your Q&A questions. Just reply below to my pinned tweet, and they're accessible to all of us to see and record. And Ashton's pinned tweet is the TWitWoW schedule for the month of July. I can't believe July is almost over. What the fuck even is time?
Bro, you sound
what
like you're delivering a disclaimer at the end of a pill commercial.
I'm trolling energy from the Micro Machine, man. You guys remember that? So it's July 20th today. We did our NXT review. So I'm guessing we'll have nothing Wednesday because we just...
I'll run over the schedule. So obviously, there's a chance that we could do Stardom tomorrow if they get every match up. Otherwise, we'll do it on Thursday. Friday night, we've got a SmackDown review. Sunday, Wrestle Grand Slam. John and I were going to talk about how much of that we're going to react to, but we'll at least live react to the last 3 matches on that. Monday, Stardom, Cinderella Summer. Hopefully, we're going to be able to live react to that. And actually, really, I should just say, there are 4 days next week that we're going to be live reacting to Stardom if we can. That's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday. It's a loaded Stardom week next week. And of course, next Tuesday, we'll also be reviewing NXT. So that's the schedule for the next 7 days.
There you go. That's what he said. All right, guys. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for beating the storm with us. In the words of the worst New Jersey governor ever, Chris Christie, I guess we are stronger than the storm. God, he was so much cringe. I hate him so much. Fuck the political class. All right, guys. So you know what's coming next. We'll see you then. Until then, be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. Love all of your faces. Stay hydrated. Be hydro, homies. Tune in and peace out.